to think about that. Getting emotional. And I'm seeing a lot of things happening in the country now that just hurts my heart.
Tissues if you need.
Geez, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
The Marine's not supposed to do that. But I hope things turn out for the best here in the future. Sometimes I wonder. And as far as do I want my grandson to follow on and participate in military activity? At this point, I don't think so. I don't know if I'd, maybe things might change in the future. I know that we have to have people that's willing to serve. But do they need to serve going to foreign wars when we need so much help for our own country, or defense of our own country, where we get off in these foreign escapades where you come back and you wonder, geez, was it all worth it? Do we just pay taxes in order to just fund all these other little excursions and have our sons and daughters join the military just to go fight for someone else? I don't know. It's hard to say. Somebody's got to do it. But whether I don't regret my service necessarily. I was pretty lucky. I came back. I didn't earn a Purple Heart because I, fortunately, so I can't complain too much about my situation. It turned out to be a career for me. I did get my aviation schooling. I made a career out of it, and it all turned out pretty well for me. I survived, and my only regret is all of the people we couldn't bring home, and the unfortunate not being successful in Vietnam, and so on. So,
are there any lessons or anything you want to leave specifically to your posterity?
Well, I think that one thing about military service is it does, I think in most cases it gives you a good work ethic and a sense of responsibility. I would hope that any of my grandchildren or whatever would take pride in the service that I provided, and make sure that they make good choices, get an education, make sure that you that you're earnest and take that into account, that you try to avoid making mistakes that you're going to regret in the future. Well, let me see. I had something else in mind there, but now I got a brain cramp. I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
All right. Well, is there anything you'd like to add before we close out?
Well, there is one thing. I know a lot of times looking back at, I think we had even brought up some of the attitude of some of the people around, like when I returned home. Some of the things you would see in the movies, some of the attitude of the general public. I know that sometimes I would see where if there was a member of the military that would do something bad or commit a crime or whatever, sometimes the first thing you'd see on the news is, oh, this is an ex-Marine, or this is a military person, and they did this bad thing or whatever. Or sometimes in the movies they would sometimes exaggerate that some of those veterans over there during the war were a bunch of crazy drug addicts, or they were nutso, or they'd come back and they'd be drunkards or drug addicts or this kind of thing. I don't know about some of them, but I know all the people that I worked with, especially in the aviation side, there was none that I ever ran across that ever did anything like that. I mean, they drink some beer, but there was never anything that would upset or some alcohol or something, but there was never anything that would jeopardize the job or jeopardize the life of a pilot or something like that. I don't know of any of them that ever got strung out on drugs. I never saw any of that in Vietnam. So I think sometimes military veterans would get a bad reputation for some of those sort of things, especially in the movies or in the news media, or I mean, you keep hearing about homeless veterans or whatever. I don't know what their problem, unless they became alcoholics or something. I know a lot would have alcohol issues. In fact, some of the friends that I know at some of these reunions, sometimes I wouldn't really like too much when they were so anxious to get to the bar at happy hour and start drinking. And one thing with the VFW too, that's one reason I didn't want to participate in those sort of things, because I don't smoke or drink or any of that. But that's one thing that's kind of a disappointment to me. But I'd like people to maybe know, and my grandkids to know, we weren't like that. People I worked with, we weren't like that. We were responsible. We knew we had, even at a young age, we had lives that depended on us. And you don't go screwing around and get someone killed. You take it seriously. And getting emotional again, so I think maybe that's good.
I think that's a good place to end.
That might be a good place to end.